Hey, what's up everybody? It's Joe Dobby here. I'm just going to be doing a deck profile on this red-purple deck that I made, so let's get it started. Okay, so just a quick overview of the deck. You guys can already see the cards, but I just wanted to say that this deck I made has cards from the English Booster Set 1. So, you know, after testing it, I 100% want to build this deck because it's just so much fun. It makes for really close, interesting games, and it's very satisfying when all the pieces fit. But without further ado, I'm just going to dive into the babies here. So the Digitama, I have 4 Yokomon and 1 Yamon. So Yokomon, when attacking, if this card is attacking an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets 1000 DP until the end of the turn. So it's a nice little DP boost for the Digimon that I'll be using for red. And Yamon is essentially the same thing. Really good increase in DP for when I end up fighting or checking security, because that's all this deck is going to want to do. Let's get into the rookies. I've got a couple rookies here. We've got Guilmon, which has another inheritable effect that says if this Digimon is blocked, it gets plus 2000 DP, which is really great if I want to check with a champion Digimon at level 4 or an ultimate Digimon at level 5. This card will do wonders if my opponent blocks. So it's really good against, for example, like black decks, which are full of blockers, and it's just nice to have in my opinion. The other rookie is Guilmon, one of my favorite rookies in Digimon, period. If this also has an inheritable effect. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in their trash, this Digimon gets another 1000 DP. So you can probably already see where I'm getting at with the red Digimon, the red side of things. It's really just to increase DP, check security, take out any key Digimon through fighting, and move on from there. Now for purple, I have Tapermon. 4 copies of Tapermon, and it's just when destroyed, draw 1. Really good early game card. If I need to draw cards, I can just run him into security and do a security check. If I want to use it as a means of digivolving, I can definitely do so. So that's pretty good. And I have 2 copies of Demidevimon, simply for that quick digivolution. I just want to be from the purple side of things, I want to get to Vmyotismon as soon as possible, but not as soon as I would want to get Guilmon. Guilmon is the priority of this deck. Moving on to the champions here, I've got Tyrannomon, just a vanilla 6k Digimon that has a 1 evolution cost and a 6 hard summon cost. I like it because it really accelerates the process of getting to Guilmon, so it's really good. And I have 3 copies of Greymon, which also has the inheritable effect skill of this Digimon gets 2000 DP on my turn. Love Greymon when it works with the Guilmon, when I end up with my ultimates and to Guilmon really makes me feel much more confident doing a security check. Now for the champions of my purple side, we've got 2 copies of Devimon for Vengeance. Amazing inheritable effect, right? So that's why I have them there. Another one is 3 copies of Guilmon, which are just 3 blockers, and there's synergies with Devimon, Guilmon, and Piedmon, which we will get into later. But for now, yeah, let's move on to the ultimates. So for my red ultimates, I've got the vanilla Groundramon, which allows me to speed up the process of getting to Guilmon. As much as possible, though, I would want to use War Growlmon, because it has the inheritable effect of adding more DP onto the Mega that it digivolves into. That said, it also has a digivolve skill where if I have a red Tamer, I can destroy one of my opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So good against Rookie Rush, good at kind of putting a stop on your opponent's ability to move forward in the digivolution process, so really good. And Skull Greymon, a hard cast anti-blocker. Just love it. Once I put him down, if I really need to rush into my Megas, I can definitely do that by taking out a blocker as well, so not bad. Getting into 2 copies of Myotismon. Once again, another vanilla, 7k DP, 2 cost to evolve, and it's super awesome. Like Myotismon, Devimon lines, one of my favorite Digimon lines, so pretty awesome. And we've got Chimeramon. When played, by destroying one of your other Digimon, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon level 5 or less. Again, it puts a stop onto getting into Megas, which is why I like running Chimeramon. And it's just adds to the removal, my ability to get rid of Digimon on my opponent's board, so really awesome there. Now we're getting into the level 6s, let's go. Guilmon, awesome Digimon, right? When Digivolved, if you have a red tamer, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. When attacking, for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash, discard one of your opponent's security, right? So amazing, right? It allows me to get rid of a Digimon when it digivolves if I have a red tamer out. Really good at managing security checks because of the inheritable effects that I have from the previous Digimon that I would be digivolving from. And at 11k, you know, it's nothing to laugh about, so it's pretty good. Myotismon, one of my favorite Digimon as well. Security attack +1 for cost to evolve, and on the opponent's turn, if they end up resting a Digimon, I get +1 memory, so it stops my opponent from attacking. Meanwhile, I want to do all the attacking. Might not necessarily stop them, but it could stop that last attack if they're running low on there. That said, I love Myotismon. 12k DP, pretty powerful Digimon, so awesome. And Piedmon. I just have to run Piedmon whenever I run purple. I don't know why. I just think he's one of the coolest. He is the coolest Dark Master in my opinion. Has Vengeance, which is amazing. And when played, you may play up to 2 level 4 or less purple Digimon from your trash without paying their cost. And that's where the synergy comes in with the Devimon and Valmon. I can get another Vengeance Digimon out, or I can get a blocker out, which is really awesome. It's done some really cool things for me through my testing, and having at least one Piedmon's great. If I end up discarding Piedmon or losing Piedmon, it is what it is. The deck doesn't rely on that. It's just a good kind of escape measure. Tamers. I have 5 Tamers. We've got 2 copies of Sora Takenouchi, which is during my turn, if one of my red Digimon attacks the player or security, I can rest Sword to get plus 2000 DP for that Digimon. So once again, it's all to protect the Guilmon from getting destroyed through security checks, through like battles with other security check Digimon. That said, I've got 3 copies of Tai, really low cost tamer, and just adds much more DP to all my Digimon, so not just my reds. The beauty about that is it takes Myotismon all the way to 13 DP, which is pretty good considering the fact that on average I think 12 is the DP for most Megas. Getting into my options here, I only have 4 options and they're all pretty deadly. I love them. I've got 2 copies of Terra Force, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon. It's really high in the cost, but it's just awesome. I love running 2 because, you know, if any of these cards end up in my security, it could be game changing. It could be absolutely devastating for my opponents. That's awesome. And 2 copies of Trump Sword, which is the same thing as Terra Force essentially, but only to my opponent's active Digimon. And it's 1 cost less. So depending on the deck that I'm facing, if I have an idea of what my opponent is running, for example, if they're attacking me often, if they're resting their Digimon often, I might want to rely on Terra Force more, or I might play Trump Sword the turn that they're active, or just Digivolve, for example, and it's at a lower cost, so I'm less worried about, you know, memory problems. That said, yeah, this deck really wants to hit hard, hit fast, and with a lot of DP. It wants to continuously put pressure on your opponent. It sets the pace for the game if I end up drawing really well with hands. It's fairly consistent actually. Like I can its ability to recover from a really bad hand is pretty surprising. It surprised me myself. And what I love about this deck is it's not a splash of either color. It's more like a hybrid. And I love finding synergies, you know, between two colors of decks right now. I have a red-purple deck, which is this one. I've got a blue-purple deck. I have a mono-purple deck. Those are the 3 decks that I'm planning to build when the English set 1 releases. And yeah, it's just super fun. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything you would change. Let me know if it's a good deck. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.